The story begins in the year 1879. A man named Coffee visits the love of his life, Mary Ann, before leaving on an important journey. As a symbol of his love, he gives her a beautiful brooch that once belonged to his mother, asking her to keep it safe until he returns. After sharing an emotional goodbye, Coffee rides away, unaware that this will be the last time he sees her. That very night, Mary Ann's home is attacked by a group of mysterious assailants. Realizing they are in grave danger, Mary Ann and her family rush into an underground cellar beneath the house, hoping it will keep them safe. But their hiding place doesn't remain hidden for long. From inside the cellar, they hear terrifying screams echoing through the house, followed by the disturbing sound of sharp claws scraping across the floor. It quickly becomes clear that the attackers aren't ordinary humans. Something far more horrifying has come for them. A few days later, Coffee finally returns to visit Mary Ann. But the moment he steps inside the house, his entire world falls apart. Every member of her family has been brutally slaughtered. Blood covers the house, and one horrifying detail immediately catches his attention. A strange tooth is lodged in the doorway. Even more disturbing, Mary Ann's body is nowhere to be found. She has completely vanished. Shocked by the horrifying scene, Coffee immediately tells his friend, John Clay, everything that happened. After looking over the evidence, the two men suspect that a hostile Native American tribe may be responsible for the attack. Determined to rescue Mary Ann if she's still alive, Coffee seeks help from a former soldier named William Parcher. At that moment, William is spending time peacefully with his girlfriend and her young son, Dobby. The instant he hears about the massacre, he doesn't hesitate for a second. He gathers his gear and agrees to join the rescue mission. Dobby also insists on coming along. Although his mother is worried, she trusts William enough to believe her son will be safe under his protection, so she reluctantly lets him go. Once the group arrives at the murder scene, William carefully examines every detail. He notices that each victim has deep wounds around the neck, injuries unlike anything he has seen before. As they continue investigating, they also discover dozens of strange holes scattered across the ground surrounding the house, making the mystery even more unsettling. Before long, John returns with a larger search party led by Henry Victor. Accompanying him are his personal cook, Walnut Callahan, along with a local tribesman hired to help track whoever, or whatever, is responsible for the attack. After giving the victims a proper burial, the entire group sets out into the wilderness, determined to find Mary Ann before it's too late. As the group continues their journey, William's horse suddenly steps onto a patch of unstable ground and collapses, throwing him to the ground. Fortunately, he escapes without any serious injuries, and the group continues forward. What none of them realize is that a body had been buried beneath that very spot, making the incident far more unsettling than it first appeared. After riding for several more hours, Henry Victor suddenly spots a lone Native American rider in the distance. Without stopping to think, he fires at the man's horse, bringing it down before immediately chasing after him. With no way to escape on foot, the native man is eventually captured and brought back to the camp. William wastes no time questioning the prisoner. He shows him Mary Ann's photograph and repeatedly asks if he has seen her or knows where she is. But the man refuses to answer a single question. No matter what they ask, he remains completely silent. Victor, however, has no patience for silence. Believing torture is the only way to get answers, he orders the prisoner to be tied up. As night falls, the interrogation turns into a nightmare. The man's feet are brutally sliced open, and bones are painfully pulled from his legs in an attempt to force him to speak. Watching the horrifying torture unfold, Walnut Callahan can no longer bear it. Feeling sorry for the prisoner, he secretly sneaks him some food while no one is watching. But the act of kindness doesn't stay hidden for long. Victor soon catches the man eating and flies into a rage, furious that someone is helping the prisoner survive when he wants him to suffer until he finally breaks. Before Victor can punish Walnut, Coffee steps forward and falsely claims that he was the one who gave the prisoner food. Enraged, Victor raises his hand to attack Coffee. But before he can strike, John Clay immediately steps in front of his friend with a pistol in his hand, making it clear that he won't allow Victor to hurt him. The confrontation is only diffused when Coffee apologizes, preventing the group from turning on each other. Later that night, 3 of Victor's men stay awake to guard the camp while everyone else goes to sleep. As silence fills the forest, something begins moving through the thick bushes surrounding them. One of the guards hears the strange noise and investigates, only to discover that it was apparently caused by one of his drunken companions. Relieved, he lets his guard down. Moments later, something horrifying emerges from the darkness. A mysterious creature attacks without warning, silently slaughtering the guards before disappearing back into the night. The next morning, panic spreads through the camp when several of Victor's men are nowhere to be found. Instead of considering any other possibility, Victor immediately blames the local Native Americans. Convinced that they kidnapped his men, he becomes even more determined to hunt them down, completely unaware that something far more terrifying is stalking them through the wilderness. Still determined to get answers, the group questions the captured native man once again. This time, he finally breaks his silence and reveals a terrifying truth. According to him, the massacre wasn't carried out by any human tribe. The real killers are monstrous cannibalistic creatures known as the Burrs, savage beings that live beneath the ground. He warns the group that sooner or later, those creatures will come for them as well. But Victor and his men refuse to believe such a story. They assume the Burrs are simply another Native American tribe hiding in the wilderness. Instead of taking the warning seriously, they dismiss it as nothing more than another lie. Meanwhile, Dobby wanders around the campsite and discovers even more of the strange holes scattered throughout the ground. Unlike the others, John realizes these tunnels could be an important clue. Believing they may lead to the truth, he decides to separate from Victor's expedition and investigate on his own. As a result, John, William, Coffee, and Dobby leave the main group behind and begin following the mysterious trail of holes through the wilderness. Their journey continues until nightfall, when they decide to stop and make camp. Just as everyone is settling down, a mysterious figure suddenly emerges from the darkness, startling the entire group. Moments later, they realize it's Walnut Callahan. Tired of Victor's cruelty and unwilling to remain under his command any longer, Walnut asks if he can travel with them instead. After a brief discussion, John agrees, but only on one condition. From now on, Walnut must follow every order without question. The following morning, the group resumes their search. As they travel deeper into the wilderness, the number of strange holes continues to increase, strengthening their suspicion that something is moving beneath the earth. Their investigation eventually leads them to an abandoned wagon filled with valuable belongings. While searching the area, Dobby notices strands of human hair sticking out of the ground nearby. Curious, they begin digging and uncover the body of a woman buried beneath the soil. To everyone's shock, the woman is still alive. She has the exact same wounds around her neck as the earlier victims, yet her entire body has become stiff and almost lifeless. She barely moves, making her look more like a corpse than a living person. Although she is unable to explain what happened, the group decides they cannot leave her behind. They carefully place the woman inside the wagon and assign Dobby the task of escorting her back to the settlement, while the others continue searching for Mary Ann. With little time to waste, the remaining members press deeper into the wilderness until they finally enter a dense forest. As they make their way through the trees, they suddenly spot a Native American standing ahead with his weapon raised toward the sky. Mistaking the gesture for an attack, Coffee immediately pulls the trigger. But before the bullet can hit its target, John knocks Coffee aside, causing the shot to miss. Coffee loses his balance, falls from his horse, and is accidentally struck by Walnut's horse, leaving him injured. John is furious. He explains that the native man wasn't threatening them at all. Raising a weapon toward the sky is simply a traditional greeting, and Coffee's reckless decision could have started a completely unnecessary conflict. After the misunderstanding, John sternly warns Coffee to stop acting on impulse and to follow orders from now on. Coffee quietly accepts the warning, and the group continues their journey deeper into the forest. For a while, everything remains eerily quiet. Then, without the slightest warning, a gunshot echoes through the trees. A bullet tears straight through John's neck, killing him instantly. hidden Native American warriors have launched an ambush. With no time to mourn, Coffee, William, and Walnut immediately take cover behind their fallen horses and return fire. A fierce gunfight breaks out as arrows and bullets fly through the forest, forcing the three men into a desperate battle for survival. Meanwhile, miles away, Dobby has stopped for the night in an open field with the mysterious woman they rescued earlier. As darkness settles in, he suddenly hears strange noises coming from the nearby bushes. Before he can react, a horrifying creature bursts out from beneath the ground and slashes his neck with its razor-sharp claws. But the attack doesn't end there. The creature spits a strange liquid directly into Dobby's wound. Within seconds, his entire body becomes numb and completely paralyzed. Although he is still alive, he loses all ability to move, making him appear dead. The monster then turns its attention to the helpless woman. In a horrifying display, it tears open her body and devours her internal organs before dragging the motionless Dobby underground. Unable to fight back or even scream, he is buried alive beneath the earth. Elsewhere, Coffee, William, and Walnut remain hidden, waiting for the Native Americans to move on. While observing the surrounding vegetation, William notices a plant with highly poisonous leaves. He tells the others to gather as many of the leaves as possible and burn them, believing the toxic smoke will force whoever is secretly watching them to reveal themselves or retreat. The plan works, allowing the trio to continue their journey the following day. During a short break, Coffee opens up to William about Marianne, admitting that the fear of never finding her alive is slowly consuming him. William listens quietly, understanding exactly what his friend is going through. That night, William volunteers to stand guard while Coffee and Walnut get some sleep. But when the two men wake up the next morning, William has completely disappeared. With no sign of him anywhere, Coffee begins to suspect that William intentionally used them as bait while slipping away on his own. Just then, a horrifying scream echoes through the nearby bushes. Coffee quickly grabs a burning torch and throws it toward the sound. As the flames illuminate the darkness, dozens of terrifying burrs suddenly emerge from the shadows. They are attacking William, who has been hiding among the bushes all along. Before William can escape, one of the creatures lunges forward and slashes him across the neck. Fortunately, Walnut reacts without hesitation. He raises his rifle and fires several shots, forcing the burrs to retreat back into the darkness before they can finish William off. After surviving the attack, William notices something deeply unsettling. The claw wound on his neck causes no pain at all. As time passes, he slowly begins losing sensation on one side of his face. It becomes obvious that whatever the burrs injected into him is still affecting his body. Fearing that the creatures could return at any moment, Coffee, William, and Walnut decide not to stop. They press onward through the wilderness until, after traveling a long distance, they notice the faint glow of a campfire flickering in the distance. Approaching cautiously, they discover a lone Native American woman named Faith sitting beside the fire. She explains that her entire family was slaughtered by the creatures that dig tunnels beneath the ground, leaving her as the only survivor. Having lived through the nightmare herself, Faith knows more about the burrs than anyone they have met so far. According to Faith, the burrs are far older than humanity itself. Long before humans walked the earth, these terrifying predators hunted massive herds of bison. Their hunting strategy was both cruel and terrifying. First, they wounded their prey before injecting it with a special saliva that completely paralyzed the victim without killing it. Once their prey could no longer move, the burrs buried it alive beneath the ground. There, the body would slowly decay while remaining trapped underground. After the blood thickened and the internal organs softened, the creatures would return to feast on the corpse. Their favorite part of the body was always the internal organs. Faith explains that everything changed when humans hunted the bison almost to extinction. Deprived of their natural food source, the burrs were forced to adapt. With no bison left to hunt, they turned their attention toward humans, transforming into the nightmare that now stalks the wilderness. She then shares one final piece of hope. Her father once told her about the legendary Ute tribe, warriors who had fought the burrs in the past and somehow defeated them. However, the Ute closely guard their secrets and never reveal their methods to outsiders. The moment William hears this, he makes up his mind. His wound is getting worse with every passing hour, and if anyone knows how to stop whatever is spreading through his body, it's the Ute. He decides that finding the tribe has become just as important as finding Marianne. Faith agrees to guide them, and the group continues their journey together. Walnut isn't entirely convinced by the new plan. In his eyes, every minute spent searching for the Ute delays their original mission of rescuing Marianne. But Coffee sees things differently. If the Ute truly possess knowledge about the Buerers, that information could save all of their lives before this nightmare is over. With no better option available, everyone agrees to follow William's decision. Before long, they finally cross into the mysterious territory of the Ute tribe. That night, Coffee is haunted by a terrifying dream. He sees Marianne trapped inside one of the mysterious underground holes, desperately reaching out for help. The nightmare feels so real that he suddenly wakes up in shock, convinced that she is still alive somewhere beneath the earth. As he catches his breath, Coffee notices that William hasn't slept at all. His condition has become much worse. The paralysis is slowly spreading throughout his body, making every movement more difficult than the last. Desperate not to be abandoned, William warns everyone that he'll shoot anyone who dares to leave him behind. Before anyone can respond, the Buerers return once again. Coffee and Walnut immediately open fire, trying to keep the creatures at a distance. Despite his stiffening body, William also attempts to fight back. But he has lost so much control over his muscles that his shot goes wildly off target, accidentally striking Walnut in the leg instead. After exchanging gunfire for a short time, the Buerers suddenly retreat back into the darkness. The attack leaves Faith completely terrified. She begs everyone to abandon the area before the monsters return. William, however, stubbornly refuses to move. He even raises his gun and threatens to kill anyone who tries to leave him behind. But by now, the paralysis has weakened him so much that he can't even pull the trigger. Seizing the opportunity, Coffee quickly snatches the pistol from his hands. Realizing they can't stay there any longer, Coffee helps the injured Walnut and leads Faith away in search of a safer location. Because Walnut's leg continues bleeding heavily, the group is eventually forced to stop and rest. While catching their breath, two armed warriors from the Ute tribe suddenly appear and surround them. Coffee immediately explains that he's searching for his missing fiancée, Marianne, who may have been taken by the Buerers. After listening to his story, the Ute warriors reveal that they have their own way of hunting the creatures, by using bait. To Coffee's horror, they decide that William, who is already close to death, is the perfect bait. Ignoring every protest, the two warriors forcefully take William with them. Before leaving, they warn Coffee that if he follows them, they won't hesitate to kill him. As the Ute men disappear into the forest, one of them accidentally drops a small amulet hanging from his belt. Coffee picks it up and freezes. Attached to it is the very same hair brooch he had once given to Marianne before leaving home. Seeing it in the Ute warrior's possession fills him with dread, making him fear that the woman he loves may already be dead. Walnut urges Coffee to give up and leave the cursed wilderness while he still has the chance, but Coffee refuses. At this point, nowhere feels safe anymore. More importantly, he realizes that the Ute possess two things he desperately needs: the secret to killing the Buerers and the knowledge to cure the mysterious paralysis caused by their attacks. Determined to uncover both secrets, Coffee enters the forest alone. With his rifle tightly gripped in his hands, he quietly follows the tracks left behind by the two Ute warriors, knowing that every step brings him closer to the monsters lurking beneath the ground. As Coffee quietly follows the Ute warriors' trail through the forest, danger strikes without warning. One of the Utes suddenly leaps out from the shadows and attacks him, knocking him to the ground. But Coffee reacts instantly. Before the warrior can strike again, Coffee raises his rifle and fires, killing him on the spot. Refusing to turn back, Coffee pushes deeper into the forest until he finally discovers William. He has been tied to a tree all alone, exactly as the Ute had planned. Believing he has found his friend just in time, Coffee rushes forward to untie him. But the moment William is freed, something completely unexpected happens. His mind has become clouded by the poison spreading through his body. Mistaking Coffee for an enemy, William suddenly snatches Coffee's pistol and shoots him in the arm. The blast throws Coffee off balance, and as he stumbles backward, his leg snaps into a hidden bear trap buried beneath the leaves. Trapped and unable to escape, Coffee watches in horror as several Burers emerge from beneath the ground. They immediately swarm William, who is now too weak to defend himself. The helpless man is brutally torn apart by the creatures, while Coffee can do nothing but watch. Moments later, another Burer turns its attention toward Coffee. With his legs still trapped, escape is impossible. Desperately searching his surroundings, Coffee notices another trap lying nearby. Thinking quickly, he hurls it directly at the charging creature, killing it before it can reach him. After a painful struggle, Coffee finally manages to free his leg from the bear trap. But the nightmare is far from over. He soon notices another Burer closing in on the wounded Ute warrior who had survived the earlier fight. Without hesitation, Coffee grabs a sharpened wooden stake that had been prepared in advance and repeatedly drives it into the creature until it finally collapses dead. As the battle ends, Coffee notices something strange. Dozens of other Burers are lying motionless across the forest floor. Instead of continuing their attack, they appear completely paralyzed. The surviving Ute warrior finally reveals the truth behind his plan. Before using William as bait, he had secretly forced him to drink a powerful poison. When the Burers fed on William, the poison entered their bodies as well. One by one, the monsters became paralyzed, eventually losing consciousness. The Ute then points toward a pile of sharpened wooden stakes prepared earlier. He tells Coffee that the creatures won't remain helpless forever. If they are to survive, this is their only chance. Before the Burers wake up again, every single one of them must be finished off. Just when Coffee believes the danger is over, another Burer suddenly bursts out from beneath the ground and launches a surprise attack. This time, however, Coffee is ready. He strikes the creature with all his strength, crushing its head before driving a sharpened wooden stake straight through its body, finally putting an end to it. Moments later, the first rays of sunlight begin shining through the forest. To Coffee's surprise, the exposed Burers start burning the instant the sunlight touches them. Their bodies slowly wither away, revealing the secret that the Ute tribe had protected for generations. They don't simply poison the monsters. They weaken them with poison, immobilize them, and then let the rising sun finish the job. With the battle finally over, Coffee returns to reunite with Walnut and Faith, bringing the wounded Ute warrior with him. But everyone is in terrible condition. Walnut is badly injured, Faith is exhausted, and the Ute warrior is barely alive. Realizing they can't travel much farther, Coffee decides to head to the nearest settlement alone, in search of a doctor before returning to rescue them. On his way, Coffee unexpectedly encounters Henry Victor's surviving men. Before he can explain anything, they escort him back to Victor's camp. But the moment he arrives, he is struck by a horrifying sight. Faith and the wounded Ute warrior have both been hanged. Walnut is gone as well. After his injured leg had been amputated, he was unable to survive. Coffee finally realizes the terrible truth. Victor never cared about finding the real killers. Obsessed with wiping out the Native Americans, he blamed every death on them without ever discovering the existence of the Burers. His hatred ultimately claimed the lives of innocent people, while the true monsters remained hidden beneath the earth. The movie ends on a chilling note. Deep beneath the ground, the surviving Burers continue hunting in the darkness, feeding on the internal organs of helpless victims. Despite everything Coffee sacrificed, the nightmare is far from over, and the ancient creatures continue waiting beneath the earth for their next prey.